When Prime Minister Justin Trudeau introduced his carbon tax in 2019, he said 80% of the Canadian families who would have to pay it would end up better off financially. And what he meant was that 8 out of every 10 families would get more money in carbon tax rebates than they paid in carbon taxes. Well, a new report by the Parliamentary Budget Officer, who is the independent nonpartisan financial watchdog of public spending in government, says that's simply not true. Yves Giroux says that, in fact, today, most households in the 4 provinces that pay carbon taxes, Ontario, Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, are paying more in carbon taxes. 6 out of 10 people are paying more. And Giroux says that by 2024 in Ontario, 8 out of 10 people will be paying more. And the same thing will happen in Alberta in 2028. So what are people paying in carbon taxes today that aren't covered by the rebates? Well, Trudeau says the average right now, depending on what province you live in, is about $200 more per year, up to about $500 more per year. And by 2030, when the carbon tax is fully in place, the average will be more than $1,000, a little more than $2,000, again, depending on which province you live in. But 1 in 5 Canadian families, higher income earners, in 2030 will be paying anywhere from more than $4,000 a year to more than $7,000 a year, depending on where they live. They certainly aren't going to be better off financially. Now, what Trudeau has told us is really, I think, what most people had figured out on their own when Trudeau announced it. I mean, what sense did it make that 80% of the people paying a tax would end up better off by paying the tax? It didn't just pass the smell test, as most of us would say. So in any event, Trudeau's carbon tax is going up by 25% on April 1st. It's going up to $50 per ton of greenhouse gas emissions from $40 per ton. And by the time it reaches 2030, it will be $170 per ton of emissions. So I think the additional concern now is that if the federal government didn't tell us the truth about their carbon tax back in 2019 when they introduced it, what things haven't they told us the truth about ever since? I'm Laurie Goldstein of Sun Media. We're always interested in hearing your views, and please follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and our YouTube channel.